Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi. I'm doing a collab with Koenig's, Nikki and Kirky, for sci-fi. I'll put the playlist in the link in the description box. And as soon as she said this one, I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And you can probably see with the paintings and this one that Van Gogh has something to do with it. Now the first two paintings on there I drew myself from a reference. This one, because I didn't want to ruin it, I cheated and used a colouring page to be able to get it on the actual plastic. Now this is a cheap plastic lantern from Poundland. It wasn't a pound, it was £3, but you know. And I've got about 5 of them. And when I thought about this idea, I thought, yeah, that's perfect shape. Perfect shape. I'm only going to have to tweak it a little bit more than I thought, but yeah. So right now I'm drawing out Van Gogh, and his paintings are, my brain's just gone, flowers, sunflowers, and oh my days, I can't remember. I did have it written down and I've forgotten. Now I've actually seen these, well, this one in particular, this painting in real life, and when I say he's an extraordinary artist, that's where you're cutting it. I wanted to touch this, completely not allowed obviously, but looking at this painting it made me want to cry. His paintings invoke so much emotion, and I kind of, I get him a little bit. As you mostly all know, I do suffer with my mental health, and crafting and painting and whatever is my way of keeping myself in check, keeping myself sane. And I always felt an affinity with him as an artist who struggled with his own mental health and never been recognised when he was alive, really, for what a true talent he was. And this gets back to the episode of Doctor Who, and it's called Vincent and the Doctor. Now, I watched this episode and I sobbed my heart out, because if I could give anybody anything, it would be that they knew just how awesome they were. And in this episode they give him the chance to know this, because obviously they go back in time to 1890. Oh Jesus Christ. And it's Doctor Who is Matt Smith, and it's Amy Pond who's Karen Gillan, and he is one of my favourite Doctors, not the favourite, but I did like the storyline with Amy and the Doctor. It was very good. And in this one they've gone back in time to meet Vincent, and they've put a twist on mental health, as in he's not mental, he's not crazy, he's actually seeing something that's real. It's an alien, and he's the only one that can see it. Now for me, this is just telling you what it's like to have mental illness, that your brain is a monster, and sometimes that monster can't be kept in. So for this, it's just a wonderful piece of not just TV but artistry. not only because of the artist, but the way they told the story. And this does actually get me quite emotional, because I can think about the episode now, and it still evokes that feeling of wow, and being able to see his art in real life. Oh, if only he knew just how good he was. They get Van Gogh to realise that he has this huge legacy, that his art is known by the world. His art is worth more than he could ever imagine. That he has left a legacy to the world of what true art is. And in this they realise that they can't rewrite time, and some evils are out of the Doctor's reach, and some things they just can't fix. So they have to take him back. But before they take him back, that's what they do. They let him know, in a subtle way, that he was brilliant. Not only brilliant, but he had a beautiful mind. And it's just an awesome episode. I mean, I've watched Doctor Who since I was little. I had to rerun the black and whites, obviously, because I wasn't born. But we won't mention that Doctor. Well, Jodie Whittaker, good actress, but no, not a Doctor. Didn't fit in for me. And I'm not so keen on this new one either. But I think he'll warm on me. I mean, we'll see. But right now I've first off marked it all out with Sharpie, and I'm using coloured UV resin, and I've been coloured with the alcohol inks to do the sunflowers. Now I noticed that the actual marker pen, the Sharpies, was smudging into the UV, but I kind of like it, so I didn't stop it from happening and just let it run. And it does actually give it more depth, dimension, texture, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to do this with all three sides, putting colour in. This took a very long time. It took a very, very long time, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. I mean, to be honest, it's just colouring, but with UV. But each time I put some colour down, I'd set it, then I'd put another colour down, and I'd set it. This is similar colour, but I just added a drop of brown to it. Not even a drop, just like a half a drop, just to give it a bit of tone, because they're sunflowers after all. And most of this will be similar colours. So I won't show you doing all of the windows, because, well, that's just... you'd be bored. So now I'm doing the front of the TARDIS. And I'm kind of measuring. I can't really see the numbers on this ruler. I really need to get a new ruler. So I am kind of guessing as well, just by using the lines on the ruler so I can see where I'm actually doing it. So I'm going to make window slots, a slot for the sign that says police box, and I'll put door handles on, all using cardboard, and I'll fit that into the last slot that's left on the TARDIS. Well, the lantern at the minute, because it's not a TARDIS yet. And I find it really tricky to use a knife. I'm struggling with my hands again. I've been using clay recently again, so it's like, ouch. But I kept looking at it thinking, is this right? Am I right? I don't know. So I did have to keep going backwards and forwards, and I'd got the camera in the most ridiculous place. And if you notice, I've got artwork up so you can't see all my rubbish. Because believe me, at the time, there was a lot of rubbish. I have got craft stuff everywhere. When I say craft stuff, I'm going to say crap stuff. Because it's bits that I don't want to chuck away because I need to use them in future projects. So yeah, crap stuff. I've got to the doorways, and I'm going to cut them out. And this is where I realised that I need to cut out the frame bits too. That's why I've had to do 2 lots. Now, if I'd have used my brains, instead of cutting out each separate bit, like I'd started to, I'd have just carried on doing strips. But I didn't use my brain to start off with, so I made a boo-boo. But it's okay. I've got them all stuck together, and it's fine. And what I'm going to do with this is all ML's fault. I'll pop her channel in the description. I've been watching her doing spray painting, and she's fantastic. So I had to go and buy myself some spray paints, and I'm going to spray paint the heck out of it, but not in the way you think. It's not going to be just blue. Yeah, I had fun, and also got my hair off with it, because as soon as I wanted to do the spray painting, it was windy outside. It'd been lovely and sunny all day, but as soon as I went outside, the wind came. So I got my cardboard that I'd got round to stop the spray from going everywhere, and I'm having to try and catch it while I'm spraying, and it's like it was driving me nuts. But anyway, I'm gluing all these down, and I shall. That there is just PVA glue, just bog standard. So I looked at how to do the handles, and I thought, well, that's pretty simple. So I just folded a piece of card over a thin strip to make a handle, and it worked. I was quite surprised, because I half expected it to be a bit squishy, but no, quite good. You wouldn't think there were cardboard. Oh, I know what I did do. I forgot to actually paint the handle. I think I've left it the same colour as the TARDIS. Let me see. Yes, I have. I'm sure it's not. My brain's saying it's not. Oh God. What is it with me and my memory? But yeah, there's the handles, and now you're just using some PVA just to stick it down. And I do realise that I've made it a tad too big, so I have to do a bit of a snip, and I weigh it down with my metal pieces that in place of a 1, 2, 3 block. So yeah, I snip a little bit off the bottom, just a tad, and I don't want it to be perfect, because the doors are slightly protruded of the actual TARDIS itself, so it works out pretty well. And I leave that to dry, and then off to mask all the little pieces, because now I've got to make sure I don't spray paint all over what I've just done. Now, again, brains of Britain, I could have spray painted the door separately. Dear, it would have made much more sense, rather than having to fill in all these little tiny windows. But that wouldn't be me, would it? I don't do things the easy way. So yeah, I had to try and squish all these little bits in there so I didn't spray paint them. And then I masked off the windows on the other sides so I didn't spray paint any of the artwork. I say artwork, the colourings. Oh, it's not my art, so I can't say it's mine. I just used references, copied, bang go. So yeah, I'm just smushing them in now, making sure that they're off the sides. Although I thought this would work, I did have a couple of patches missing, but I tinkered with them after. So yeah, here we are outside. And yeah, spray paint was all her fault. And yeah, you'll see the board disappear in a minute because a great gust of wind comes. Now I'm spraying it I am spray painting it black first because I don't have the colour blue I want. So I spray it black first and then I put my shade of blue over the top, which works out a treat because then it is just the colour I need. It really is. It worked out brilliant. And then I used some colours. Now, my theory in my head was I wanted the TARDIS to look like it was going through its phase of jumping time. So you would see, if it's in space, the galaxy behind it or through it. So yeah, I'm spray painting galaxy. Now there it goes. There's the board. Silly thing. I sprayed lots of different colours, but I also realised that if I held the nozzle just only slightly, it would just give me the right effect of what I needed, like little stars all over the place. And I loved it. I think it worked out really nice. And all I have to do now is to fix the top on. Say all. Yeah, that wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be either. Because the top didn't do what I wanted it to do. So yeah, because it's supposed to have a light on the top. And I have made a light on the top, but I wanted a hole so the light would go in. Now I am wearing a mask at this point because melted plastic, not a good thing. Oh yeah, I wrote it down, look. Now I melted as much as I thought I'd need, and then realised it's a bit thicker on the inside. So I end up having to pull off the cap, which I first try and stab it with a palette knife because I'm an idiot, and then I tried drilling it, and I'm thinking, oh, this is really tough. I can't. No, what is in there? What the heck is in there? See, I thought it was hollow. Apparently it's not. It's not even where the light is. The light's at the bottom. So I go in again, and then I get the top off and realise, there we go. Look, it's got a cross point on. I tried cutting it. That didn't work. And so I got my trusty melty tool again, pyrography tool, and just melted the middle out. Because, like I said, I wanted a hole for the light to shine through. Now, in the daytime, you cannot see the light at the top, but at night time, oh, it looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. I actually sat it outside and waited for the night time to turn up. Obviously, change of time means it's lighter longer, so I'm sat here, waiting, thinking, will it get dark? I need to take photos. And I want to see what it looks like. So, yeah, it got dark and I took some photos. And I will say I'm pleased with it. I really am pleased with it. It was a labour of love, and yeah, I loved every minute of it. So I'm just trying to smush the circle round, make it a bit more circular, but it doesn't really matter because I cover it up anyway, so I don't know why I bothered. And I'm just trimming bits off so it's a bit more level. And I'm going to make a lantern out of a bit of box, a bit of plastic, and a bit of cardboard. Now, I tried gluing this back on. Twice I tried gluing that back on, and I think twice I pulled it back off by accident. Plastic does not like to stick to plastic, and I couldn't use the bicarb method because I couldn't get to it. So, I think the third time worked a charm. Now these are just cardboard strips. I've used Sharpies to paint the black. I've used that pen there, the acrylic pen, to make the cream colour for the light. And I'm just going to stick these on. I'm not going to make them into a boxy shape, I'm just sticking them on. And what I'll do later on is I varnish it so it won't come off at any point. So I make 4 of these to go around so that when the box is turning you can see it's the whole thing. I made a boo-boo, so I used the pen just to paint over the bits that are smudged so you couldn't see it, and that worked brilliantly. And there you go, I've peeled it off again. I think I end up using B7000 to get it to stick back on. Or did I use... I could quite well have used super glue again actually, because then super glue would be sticking to super glue rather than plastic to plastic. So it did stick. So yeah, I've got 4 sets of these. And they don't take too long to stick because, well, super glue and card, it's great. And I'm trying to show you that I've got the top, but I can't get my camera to do what I need it to do. So I've got some plastic from old packaging, and I'm just cutting a strip because I want to make a tube, because the light is a tube with 4 strips around it, and I'm just wiping off with alcohol to get the Sharpie off. And I don't want it too big. Now I do cut this down later on. You don't see me cut it down, but it is far too tall. In fact, looking at it now, it still looks too tall for the actual size of the TARDIS. So that might get changed again at some point. Or just left, because it is for me, it's mine. Nobody's having that, it's mine. It's definitely mine. It was nice just to do something for me. And have so much meaning. So I'm cutting out several circles for the top, and that's going to make like a little cap. And I'm making different, I'm going to stick them on top of the tube, stick them on top of the tube to make the cap. And then use the same card to make the lines of the sticks at the side of it. And I realised at one point that actually the colour of the actual card is exactly what I needed. So I flipped it over, and voila, Bob's your uncle. Didn't have to paint it. It was a metallic shape, so it's metallic colour, so it was great. I've got several of these little circles, and they all go on the top, just to give it that bit of a point. You probably could have done with a couple more actually of each, just to make it have a bit more height. But the plastic definitely is too tall at this point, and I do cut that down because it looks ridiculous. So, a nifty trick to pick up little pieces of cardboard: just lick your finger, put your finger on top of it, there you go. So now I've stuck that to that, and I'm going to get these little bars made to go around it. And once I've done that, I'll then paint it. Now I don't spray paint these, and I wish I had, to be honest, because it's not quite the right colour. But I suppose if it's going through the phase, then maybe the top's still the same as the solid TARDIS. Well, that's my theory anyway. It's also a good way of being an excuse of making a mess. But yeah, you can see that this light, this, yeah, it's too big. It's way too big, so I cut it down. So, it's ridiculous. And then I'm going to make the box, and then this is just a little cardboard box that had something in it, so I thought I'd snip it down, and that'd be the right size, and it works. Could possibly do it being a bit squarer, because the top is square, and that's kind of a rectangle. But I end up taking that off and cutting that thing down. So there you go. It's shorter. It's a lot shorter. And I'm mixing blue and black. I'm mixing the blue iridescent paint with the black, and this is going to need several coats, because with the iridescent paint you really should have a darker colour or a similar colour underneath first, otherwise it doesn't show properly. It is a beautiful paint though. I love it. It's so nice. But like I said, it needs about 3 coats, and that brush is too big because I want to get in there neatly. So I use a smaller brush, go around the edges, so I cover the edges and it's not just cardboard, and then paint all around the box. And I won't make you suffer through watching me doing several layers. You'll just see me trying not to get it all over my hands. I ended up having just to keep holding the plastic. It was much more convenient. And when that's done, I shall stick it to the top. And I just want to say thank you for watching. Please check out the playlist. It's going to be some fantastic makes. And check out Koenig's, and I'll link them in the bottom as well, the description. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this and listening to me ramble on as blooming usual. And yeah, enjoy the pictures. Please stay till the end, because then you'll see it in all its glory, daylight and nightlight. So yeah, thank you for watching. I shall see you all again soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
In a world of shadows, light does sing. Goth unicorn with a blackened wing. Happy she dances under